All right, it's the last day of Prime Day and we're gonna power through it. Dad joke intended. We got power stations. We've talked about them a lot on the channel. This is gonna be a buyer's guide, not an individual review for each one. You can go check out our other videos. We've done a ton of videos on them. But first, I wanna thank today's sponsor, and that is Tecovas. Now, when we're off running that off-road park we've talked about here on the channel so much, one day you're setting up fences, the next you're clearing brush. You never know what you're gonna do. You could be hip deep in mud and try to pull a rig out or something. And let's just say that isn't the sort of thing you want to do in boots that you got questions about. And that's why we did choose Tecovas when it came to, picking the right boot for this challenge. We've got rough out leather uppers that shrug off the snags and the scuffs like they're nothing. As you can see here, these have been worn, they've been used, and they just keep coming back for more. And the composite toe there, that's what keeps things, keeps things safe, so we're not worrying about what we're going to run into next, all right? It's a compelling level of protection, and Tecovas, the tech insole system that they have in there, that you've got a boot that doesn't just survive the day, it lets you finish it without thinking about your foot. And I was talking about that tread also. So the muck off tread there, yeah, it actually sheds all the muck and grime and stuff that we see out there. It can get as thick as gumbo, and it just tosses it right off with a good wipe and a good rinse down here. It's also got the Goodyear welt construction. That means these are boots that aren't disposable, okay? You're not gonna just wear them down and throw them away. These are gonna stick around for a good long time. But better than that, there's no break-in blues with Tecovas. I've talked about this. If you've been around the channel, you know how much I talked about it. You put them on day one, you're out, you're working, and you're not sweating about the blisters and stuff you'd have from normal boots. Also, I should mention they're ASTM rated. Not only do they look sharp, but they're built for folks who actually use their gear, not just pose in it. Although that may be my daughter's favorite part. Anyway, so if you're out on the, grading the trails or pulling cable or running recovery or hooking up rigs for the 4th day in a row, you need boots that'll back you up, okay? So click on my link in the description, scan the QR code up there, it's in one of the corners, and check out the long haul boots from Tecovas. They're made for real work in real conditions, and out there, engines tuning, the crowd waiting, they don't have time to worry about it and what's gonna happen, and I don't have time to worry about the boots, and that's why I went with these. Thanks again to Tecovas for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the action. First off we got is the River 3. It's the River 3, right? Yeah, the River 3. Okay, so EcoFlow, they have a bunch of different ones, but for their portable power stations, there's really two. There's the River, which is like, think of it like your day use kind of thing. And then there's the Delta. That's the serious portable backup power. That's the thing that you can also use for backup power for your house. You can use it for your camper, your RV, go to the off-grid cabin, any kind of stuff. I even use it to run my whole desktop setup here, runs through one and then runs into the wall. So when we lose power around here, my desk doesn't lose any power, all right? Now this one actually I use at home and I have it connected to my CPAP as well. That means also all of these can basically be used as a UPS. Now, your CPAP's going to differ and stuff like that, so you have to figure out what works for you. But this is the one that works for me. Now, this is the River 3. Let me pull it up on screen. 245 watt hours. That's not a ton. This is a light duty. Again, it's meant for like day camping kind of stuff. It'll put out 300 watts. It'll surge up to 600 watts. It'll switch over in under 20 milliseconds, and it runs with the fans and everything under 30 dB. It can charge in an hour. It's got the two 120 ports, one of them non-grounded, the other one grounded, although none of these are really grounded, just understand that. You've got the 12 volt DC, aka cigarette lighter. You got two USB-A's, one USB-C, charging on the side. And of course it has my mandatory, no handle on top, because these things are heavy. So usually when you're stacking stuff in the car, you want them down on the bottom. You want to stack other stuff on top of it. So the ones that have the handles that come up on top, they're problematic for trying to put everything, neat and organized in a car. This is nice, slim, compact. You can take this thing anywhere, and it also slides right under my bed for use with my CPAP. It's coming in normally $259. It's on sale down to $189, and there's a $12 off coupon. Now, just remember, EcoFlow to me is the Cadillac of outdoor power equipment. Also, and I forgot to mention, if you notice up here in the search field, see it says 0.77. I've done the math to figure out what you're paying per watt hour. Now I will say this, that's not the only measurement you should use, but it's kind of gives you a reference as to how much you're investing in these, okay? Next up, we've got the EcoFlow. This is their new River 3 Plus. So you have the base station and then you have an extra battery that can attach to it. Now, if you want to buy it without the extra battery station, so this is one, and then they have a bigger battery now, apparently. So that one's $521. This one's $447. You can also buy it, not on this page, without it. So you'd have to find that listing. But it's kind of the same as the last one. Now, people get confused. They go, well, it only has one power outlet. The other outlet's on the back. All right. They don't show that. They don't talk about it. So it does have two 120s, and both of them are 3-prong. So keep that in mind. You've got the 2 USB-A's, the 1 USB-C. You've got the cigarette style lighter, great display, and you've actually got a light bar that it's usable. It's a usable light bar. It doesn't glare in your face. It doesn't obstruct or anything. And then the battery itself, it can be used as just a USB 140 watt charger all by itself, even without plugging it in. But basically, if you need all the power, you take the whole thing with you. If you only need a little bit of power, you leave the battery at home. You're looking at 78 cents per watt hour for the whole combo. It's coming in at $447. All right, then we got the EcoFlow Delta 3. This is their basic 1K box, 1,024 watt hours. It can output at 1,800. It can surge, let me see here. The surge is 2,600, I think. Yeah, there we go. Surge boost, X boost as they call it, up to 2,600. You've got 4 120s. You've got 2 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's, their new display. Now, I'll say this about the Rivers and the Delta, the 3 series, about the 3 series. From the 1 to the 2 was an exponential shift in technology. All right, they went from lithium to lithium iron phosphate. There was a big change. From the 2 to the 3, it's more of a polishing. They've taken the 2 and really brought up the tech, the app, everything else, and just made it a really finished product. So if you end up getting the 2, and there are still some of the 2s for sale, we're not going to cover it in this video, but if you want to go find some of the older ones, I think I have one though. They're not a bad option, okay? Now this one's coming in at $519 for their 1,000 bucks, so 50 cents a watt hour. Then we have the Delta 2 Max. This is the one now. This is the old generation. The Delta 3 Max isn't out yet. In fact, I don't even know if the Delta 3, the Delta 3's out. We just talked about it. There's the Delta 3. The Delta 3 Max isn't out yet. And this is what I use to run all of my whole workstation here. I've got studio lights and microphones and multiple monitors, and I've got a PC and a Mac Mini and my internet, my hubs, and my NAS box, and my Wi-Fi for my security cameras and everything. I got a ton of stuff, and all the charging and everything for all my cameras and whatnot, and it all comes through here and goes through this box. So if I lose power, I can still run for several hours without having to worry about anything. I absolutely love this box. You can also hook 2 additional batteries to it, so it's very expandable. That's going to take it to over 6,000 K of power. You're getting, on the back, you've got 6 120s. On the front, you've got 4 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's. It's coming at $900. It's 43 cents a watt hour. Then we've got the big boy here. Now, this is the old one. Now, the new one is this one, the EcoFlow Delta Pro 3. Now, this is a 4,000 watt box. It's coming in at $2,484 or 61 cents. Now, you'd think going bigger, you'd get less, it'd cost less per watt hour. They threw a lot of tech in this, okay? This one will do 240 right out of the box. The other systems, you have to connect 2 together through a special box, and then you can get 2. This one's 240. You can hook a welder up to this thing and just run it just fine, all right? This is all the power. This is home backup power on wheels you could take with you. It weighs 130 pounds. It ain't light, all right? We have one, we've moved it around. It's a bear, okay? But it's all the power. And then you can hook up, I think, 9 external, there's a ridiculous amount of external batteries you can hook. And then you can hook, you can get 2 of them, each with their own external batteries, and then hook those together. This is serious backup power that is scalable, all right? Now, the older version of this, and this one's coming at $2,484, 61 cents a watt hour. The older version is this. You might want to consider if you're on a budget, because look at this, 3,600 watt hours at 47 cents a watt hour. You're not getting the 240, okay? That's something you're losing. But this is still a super robust box, and you're coming in at just under $1,700. So $1,700 for the old version. You gain an extra 400, almost 500 watt hours to jump up to the new version. You gain a lot more tech. You get more plugs. Look at this. This one's got 4 120s and the 30 amp. This one's got, it has a 30 amp on the side, And then you've got is that 20 amp, and then I think those are regular 120s. Anyway, you got all the connections on this one coming in at just under $2,500. All right, let's jump over to Bluetti. Now, Bluetti, I used to say there were 3 big names in power stations. I'm going to say there's now a 4th, and we're going to get to it. There really is a 5th, but we don't talk about him. We'll talk about him, not talking about him later. All right, we got the budget ones at the end. If you're looking for the really cheap stuff, it's coming later in the show, all right? But, excuse me, the Bluetti here, this is their new super compact. It's the AC180. This is their 1K box, 1,152 watt hours, LiFePO 4 batteries, 1,800 watt output, 2,700 watt peak. All right, it has the 4 120s. You got 4 USB-A's, 1 USB-C. You got the cigarette lighter. Super compact. Okay, they've really made these things small. I actually have one right over here. I've disassembled it. I don't want to show it to you. It looks kind of scary right now. Anyway, point is that they really worked hard to make these things smaller and get a lot of juice into a smaller package. That said, the big give up is you can't plug in external battery packs to them. So keep that in mind. Now, here's the next version of this, and this is the Elite 200. Same concept, no external battery packs, but you still have the 4 120s. You got 2 USB-A's, now 2 USB-C's, the cigarette lighter. And again, it's in the new compact size, 17-year lifespan on the batteries. They're claiming 2,600 watt output, surge up to 3,900. It's got 2,073 watt hours in the tank. You look at 33 cents a watt hour. The other one was 38 cents a watt hour. So in this case, stepping up does save you some money, but you can't use the external battery packs. If you want to use that, you have to go back to the older version of this. And this is one of the first ones we reviewed on the channel. This is the AC200L. This is a 2,000 box, just like the 2K box, 2,048 watt hours, LiFePO 4. It up to 2,400 watts out, 3,600, they call it lifting, surge, whatever you want to call it. It has, under this big pad right here, it has a 30 amp plug. So you can plug your RV into it. I've done that with mine. Runs it just fine. The real benefit of this one is it is expandable. You can put extra batteries on it and take it up to 8,192 watt hours. Now you're paying 43 cents a watt hour over 33. So you're jumping up 10 cents a watt hour to get that expandability and that 30 amp port. All right, that's the big difference. And it's a little bit bigger, okay? Just be aware of that. Now, if you want whole home kind of stuff, not truly portable. I mean, okay, anything's portable if you have enough gumption, right? That said, once you get these stacked up, because I have one of these with, I think I've got 3 batteries. It's not something you like to move. Trust me, when I tell the kids we have to move it, they're like, oh, bad day. Anyway, Bluetti's AC300. So the box itself is just the plugs and the inverter. This big box is actually super light. In fact, when I tell the kids we're moving, I'm like, don't worry, Dad will grab the inverter. They love that joke. Every time they think it's hilarious. Okay, I think it's hilarious. Anyway, you're looking at 46 cents a watt hour because you're buying an inverter box and the external battery. Now you could hook up a slew of these external batteries. I don't even remember how many. They're just like all of them. You could just, and again, it's the kind of thing where you could stack a whole ton of these. And I like the little cart they have for it. You can stack a whole ton of these and then link those together and just get unlimited power if you want. All right. So you look at how many plugs you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the 30 amp plug. You're looking at $12.99. Again, this is less portable and more like dedicated. I'm going to keep this in this one spot kind of thing. It is movable. It's not exactly what I call portable. What did they call it back in the old PC days? Luggables? Anyway. Then let's talk about Anker Solix, the other of the big 3, the triumvirate, if you would. This is their little portable day one. Very similar to the River 3, just a different form factor, more like, you know, you're going to snatch it and go kind of. It's got the nice, I think it's like a felt leather-ish kind of cloth handle. It's got the pop-up light. We've shown a knockoff version of this, and it's actually pretty cool. The little light thing, my wife loves it. She keeps it in her car for, who knows what she does with it. Who knows? But she keeps one in her car. Anyway, you're looking at 288 watt hours, LiFePO 4 batteries. You can plug it into solar, the whole 9 yards. There's no wall charger included. You just plug it into your standard USB-C charging port, and it charges the thing. $149, $150, call it what it is, 40% off. It's coming in at 58 cents a watt hour. That's up there, okay? Then we've got the Anker Solix C1000. This is their basic 1K box, 1056 watt hour, LiFePO 4. It's got, look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 120s right there on the front. You got a cigarette lighter on the front. You've got 2 USB-A's, 2 USB-C's, a light that does not offend me, actually usable. It's a luggable box. It's not stupidly heavy. It's only 1000K or 1K box, but you're looking at 41 cents a watt hour, bringing it in at $429. Now, my favorite camping generator is this one. This is the F2000. I've talked about this one ad infinitum. 2400 watts power. I think there's 3600 surge. It's got LiFePO 4s. This is their 2000 watt hour box. All right. Look at this. You got 4 120s. You got a 30 amp. You got 2 cigarette lighters. You've got 3 USB-Cs, 2 USB-A's, a big light bar across the top that, again, it's that diffused kind of light bar that's not offensive. It actually provides usable lights. A lot of the other ones have these really bright lights and they're right next to the panel, so if you turn it on, now you can't see the panel. This one does not bother me. You sit it up next to where you're camping, it sheds some nice light where you're working. We have used this in that situation, and it works well. And it's got the built-in wheels. It's got the luggage style handle. The handles are on the side, so you can still stack stuff on top. Other than the fact it comes in at 49 cents a watt hour, which is not the cheapest, but I mean, a year ago, these were a $2,000 box every day. When they go on sale, they were like $1,800, $1,700. The price wars this year have been insane. Absolutely can't recommend this one enough. $999. All right, and now their new big boy box is the F3000. Basically, it's this box on steroids. All right, you've got a new plug on it. You've got the 30 amp plug, the 2 120s. You got the fuse relays right there. 2 12s, 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-A's, the big light bar. It is just, basically, it's nearly the same box, just bigger. All right, and you can, with both of these, you can use external batteries, although I think this one can use a lot more. Look at that, a lot more external batteries, and then you can hook them together as well. You're looking at $1,600. That takes this thing at 52 cents a watt hour. And then we have the next player that I say has cracked the top 3 and come in hard, and that is DJI. Now, this is a company known for drones, and then they got known for doing like action cameras, and they have this, my son has it, the other little pockets. Basically, it's a drone camera on a stick. It's got the little gimbal thing. And then they make gimbals for like cinema cameras and all sorts of stuff. And now they're doing power stations, and they're doing it right, okay? This is their little one, okay? And it's kind of pricey because these are premium products, all right? They're made for the guy. These aren't made for the guy who's just going rough and tumble camping and just wants some power to, run the phone and stuff. This is made for the person who's got sensitive electronics. You're going to be running like my iPad Pro and my high-end laptop and my phone and those cameras I was just talking about. This is for that person. What if you're a surveyor and you've got the high-end GPS equipment that you need to charge and stuff, or you're doing drone surveys? This is what these are for, okay? Which is not to say anybody can't buy them. I don't think there's a rule or a law or anything, but just be careful, all right? Anyway, 62 cents a watt hour. This is their 512 box, all right? So it's half of 1K. It'll do 1,000 watts output on it. It'll surge, I think, to double that. It's just a nice basic box. You got 2 110s, or 120s, sorry, 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, and then you've got this special, so this is the plug down here, that's where you charge it. It has this SDC port, and you can get different modules that plug into the SDC port that do all sorts of different things. I'm not going to go into it here, but basically, if you got a drone, it can tap it directly in. You can also hack it and do all sorts of wild stuff with it. Then they have their 1,000 box. And I thought this was good enough. I thought they're just going to stay here. 41 cents a watt hour for this, that's not bad. Folks, that's not bad compared to what else you get. Now, you only get 2 120 ports. You get, I think, 2 of the SDC ports over here. 2 SDC ports. You get 2 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As, and then you got your power charge in there on the front. Everything's on the front, nice and convenient. It's got a great app and all sorts of stuff I've been using with these. This one's coming in at $412, so you're looking at $319. For a few bucks more, you can jump up to the 1,000. Now it's going to be a big jump up to their new 2,000. It just got released. It's not even really part of Prime, but they did put a sale price on it. It's down to $1,300. I've been testing this box for the last month. Fantastic. You're getting three 120s. You're getting the 30 amp RV plug. You're getting 4 USB-As, 4 USB-Cs. You're getting, I think, 2 of the SDC ports and then the charging port as well. You got, and all these, it's fan in on one side, fan out on the other. There's a ton of accessories. And yeah, with this one, you can connect external batteries to this one. This and the 1000 can connect external batteries. In fact, on this one, I think you can connect 5 external batteries. I just got one in, and we're going to be testing it here shortly. They didn't send me the cart. Love to play around with that cart. Anyway, $1,300 on that one, all right? All right, we talked about the big names, the big 4 that it is now. Now we're going to talk about the budget brands, okay? Some of my favorites that we've tried. First one up is Aferiy. We've talked about them a lot. Look at this. This is a 2K box, 2,048 watt hours. Now remember what I've said about cost per watt hour. Sub 30. We're down to 29 cents a watt hour on this one. All right, you're getting 2,400 watts output. 2,048 watt hours of capacity. LiFePO 4 batteries. It can do 1,000 watt AC. 1,100 watt AC charging, 500 watt solar charging. Is it the most robust? I mean, it does have an app. I'll give them that. It's got a ton of plugs on it. It's got 4 USB-Cs, 2 USB-As. It's got a light. The light is a little obnoxious. It's one of those kind of glaring lights I'm not really a huge fan of. But it's got onboard storage. Up on top, it's got a little thing that flips up. You can put all your cables and stuff there. Makes up for the light. That's fantastic, all right? This is a great box. A lot of people have bought this and been really happy with it. Another one we've been testing recently is the Ampace. Now this is this is not a 2K box. They call it a 1500. It's really 1,462. So it's a 1.5 box essentially. 2,400 watts output. Peak is 3,600. It's set up very much to look and compete against the Delta from EcoFlow. It's got the 120s on the back. I think there's 4 of them. It's got 4 USB-As, 2 USB-Cs, or 3 USB-Cs, my bad. 3 USB-Cs up front. Oh no, that one's power put. So for the DC. So 2 USB-Cs, then you got 2 barrel plugs and 1 car socket right there. Nice display. The light on this is a very diffuse light. It's not obnoxious like the other lights. And this one's coming in at $599, but there's a $100 off coupon, takes it down to $499. So you're looking at $100 less. You lose basically it's 34 cents a watt hour on this one. So 29 cents a watt hour. For $600 you can get that. For $400 you can get this. Your call. In fact, I'll be using this one later today over at the off-road park. And then we got Oupes. Now they sent these in. In fact, I'll talk about who sent what here at the end. But this is their Mega 1. Not a ton of bells and whistles with it. It just kind of does what it does. 4 120s. It's got the car port. It's got 2 12 volt barrel plugs, 4 USB-As, 2 USB-Cs. You're coming at 39 cents a watt hour at $400. Then you've got the Oupes Mega 2. This one is 2,500 watt output, 5,400 watt peak, coming in at a 2K box on this one, 2,048 watt hours. But look at this. You've got 4 120s, the 30 amp RV port, the car plug, 2 12 volt barrels, 4 USB-Cs, 2 USB-Cs, 4 USB-As, and an Anderson plug on top of that. All of that for $849, coming in at 41 cents a watt hour. Then we got Pecron. I just got the Pecron in. I haven't had a chance to do much with it. I do like the build on it. Seems very robust, okay? It definitely got like the shock corners, a little rough and tumble. This is their smaller one. They've got this one coming in. It's a 614 watt box, and it's coming in at $299, which takes it 48 cents a watt hour. And then you've got their bigger one. This is a 3,000 watt box. So this is competing with the Delta 3 Pro, the first version, not the second version. And yes, the 3 Pro is the third version, or second version. They skipped the 2. Long story. Anyway, 3,072 watt hours. It's got LiFePO 4 batteries. It's got 120s plus I think it's got the the rig for the, whatchamacallit in there, the RV. It's got a ton of ports on it. It's $1,259. That comes up to 41 cents a watt hour. 41 cents a watt hour. Okay, and now we're going to talk about the ones that we don't talk about, and why? Because people always ask, hey, why did you not include this? The first one we don't talk about is Jackery. And the reason we don't talk about Jackery on the channel is they reached out to me, asked me to do a video. I said I'd be happy to. They sent over a contract, read through the contract. Contract said I couldn't say anything negative. I went back to them. They're like, well, we want to maintain that it's safe, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so I should do a video saying that you guys won't let me say things negative. And the management stepped in and was like, I think there was a misunderstanding. I'll clear it up. We'll get back to you. That was a year ago. And they've reached out to me. Agents of theirs have reached out to me. And I'm like, sure, still waiting to talk to you. No, they won't work with me because I said I won't sign their contract that says that I won't say anything negative. And until they fix that, I'm still going to say that's the reason, because I wholeheartedly believe that Jackery is putting out contracts that say that you can't say negative stuff if you review their product. Okay? Number 2 is GrowWatt. Same exact scenario, except this time they didn't try to backtrack it. They just said, well, we want to make sure we get reviews that are positive. You know, if you just make a good product, you don't have to worry about that. You know, and that said, there's always something negative. There's always something, you can't make everybody happy. You can't solve every problem. So the fact that they think that they can, or at least keep people from talking about it. And again, you sent me a contract, GrowWatt, I'm talking to you. You sent me a contract, said I can't say anything negative. I said, we won't do this. I'm not trying to slander you or besmirch you, but that is why I will not work with you. Other people may, and they're welcome to, but as far as I understand, they've had to sign a contract that says they won't say anything negative. Next up is Segway. And if you guys have been around the channel, you know what happened here. I did a video, and they came back and said that I had to take out the stuff that I said that was negative. And honestly, it wasn't terribly negative. There was just a few things. And they said, well, you have to take that out. And I'm like, no, I really don't. They said, fine, then we won't approve the contract and we'll blacklist you. And no other company here in China will work with you. And I'm like, really? So you do want me to make a video? And I did. And then Segway Corporate called me and we had a discussion. And they said that team was a loose cannon, gone rogue, independent third-party company that was a marketing company they hired, and that they had no input on it. They apologized profusely and said they would like to work with me in the future. And you can see how many videos since then we've worked with them on. All right, so those are the 3 companies we won't work with. All the companies we do, basically every company, Segway included, has sent us stuff or offered to send us stuff, and we've refused. So every company we've talked about. So you can say, well, you're biased to this company, you're biased to this company. Clearly, I'm biased to everybody, or not biased towards the companies that I refuse to work with. But, you know, we do this. We have 100% transparency on the channel. We'll tell you who we've worked with, who we haven't worked with. We'll even tell you the conversations we've had. If there's something unclear, just ask in the comments or put my email. I put my direct email in every single video. You can go down to the video details, scroll down to the bottom, and you can contact me. In fact, if you want to come to Livingston, Montana here, I will happily meet up with you and give you a tour of the shop and discuss whatever it is you want to discuss, because we believe in full transparency. Who else does that for you? Anyway, if you like what we do, go ahead and chomp the old like button, smash that subscribe, ring the bell on the way out. Links and everything, as always, are down below. You all take care, God bless, and as always, shine on.